You guys, it's Wednesday. It's June 12th. It's 2013. Which means that it's time for Day 9 Daily number 594, where we learn to be a better gamer. I'm not even going to tell you what the show topic is because on Friday I'm playing Last of Us. Oh, I'm so excited. 10s across the board. It is raining 10s up in Last of Us town. So I hope it's as awesome as everyone surmises. There might be a longer show on Friday because I just want to play more of it. So I will. Another exciting news. I think many of you know that I landed from my plane from Korea on Monday, so jet lag is just massaging my scalp gently, and it feels nice. But we're going to make it through this show. In today's daily, no, I'm not going to do the daily topic yet. No, don't you skip this either. You listen to me. Fun Day Monday for next week. Get together with a friend and show me the best rigged game. As in, you tell each other what to do and you try to make the game as awesome as humanly possible. Like the best fake game, the best rigged game, kind of like what people do with time attacks, except instead of speed, it's art you're going for. Submit those to Monday at day9.tv. Also over on the day9.tv forums, if you want to head on over there, I'll just show you. There's this thing over here. Let me. There's a volunteer list. Yeah, if you've ever been interested in being part of a project, I don't have any projects, but there's so many people who email being like, "Is there any projects coming up?" I figure I may as well make a list. And there's a bunch of people who are all in one area. We'll have a donut party. Alright, see, I truly am the future ambassador of esports. Alright, cool, let's talk about today's topic. Cool. In today's daily, we're going to be looking at 5 Terran vs. Terran games between ForGG and LucifroN from their round of 8 WCS EU game on the Championship Sunday games. In looking at these games, what we're going to be doing is studying the notion of adjustment, because the hellbat drop is so strong that everything kind of revolves around and responds to it. So first we'll look at that introductory hellbat build. We'll talk a little bit about the whys, whats, and wherefores of it. And then we'll start going through these games and we'll see adjustments taking place. Because it's so important in StarCraft 2 play that if you begin to suffer losses, you shouldn't be trying to change your play dramatically. You should be trying to improve your play. And if you can't improve it anymore, you should be trying to adjust your play. Not changing, but adjusting. So for instance, if you did a hellbat drop and it just didn't work, you might try to control the hellbat drop a little better. You might try to improve your play by working on worker production, working on supply depot production, trying not to mess up your macro. Those are improvements. But if you still weren't winning, you might adjust by waiting until you had 2 medevacs. You might adjust it by trying to come in at a different angle. You might adjust by trying to do an attack with 2 Hellions at the front to bait him and then do a drop at the back. These are adjustments. These are not changes. It's not going, well, the hellbat drop lost, so I guess I need to not hellbat drop, or I guess I need to go tank marine, or I guess I need to not do drops at all. Any of these things. I know the first and third were the same thing, but I'm sort of doing this as I go. This is a daily, okay? This isn't scripted. Come on. So let's go ahead and first check out into the game. I like to have a really minimalist graphic setup. I don't like a lot of extra bells and whistles. I just have a single logo overlay, but the sound effects are really where we invest here at Day9 TV. That actually cost like $20,000, that sound effect. Right there. Good soundboard. Let's first look at things with the sound and music on. How does that sound? Does that sound good? Does that sound like a plan? Does it sound fair? Alright, the SCV is ready, you guys. I think that sounds good enough. I think that sounds great. First, let's go ahead and take a look at this hellbat build. Let's talk a little bit about what and why. What is the hellbat drop play? It comes in many variants. Sometimes people will go for the barracks with a fast refinery to get reapers. and then go for hellbat drops. Sometimes players will just go command center first and then go into hellbat drops. Sometimes players will get a couple Hellions out with their early gas and then go hellbat drops. The important thing is that eventually they go hellbat drops. I'm right now saying what, not going to say why hellbat drops are the big thing. So, just speeding things along. ForGG is doing somewhat of a more macro-focused. People consider this to be a little bit risky nowadays. He's actually skipping gas in his main, no gas, and going straight for the expansion. No big deal. Expo. Gas is very important in this matchup, so of course, ForGG will be taking his gas geysers before he builds another depot. I'm taking a little bit of time to note the sort of specifics of this build, you know, the fact that this is delayed and these two come first. Because again, it doesn't really matter what flavor of play you're going for, whether it's command center first or barracks first. You just need to know that the gas should come up very early with these hellbat drop builds. So ForGG playing defensive, getting his bunker up, continuing to be defensive. I'm actually going to ×8 it. And we're almost done, we're almost done, we're almost done, we're almost done, we're almost there, we're almost there. Okay, there's the swap. Sometimes players build Hellions here. ForGG is going straight for the armory. Balls out with the Hellions out. Excuse me, with the Hellbats out. And here comes... Alright, cool. I want you to note some very specific timings right now. We're going to stop right here. Oh, this timing worked out perfectly. So ForGG has done no scouting. So he does have to be slightly concerned about Widow Mine drops and Banshees. He does have to be slightly concerned about Hellion run-bys at the front. You shouldn't see this right now. I'm actually going to back it up. I'm hiding that Thor. Hellion run-ins at the front can be annoying. Okay, we got the depot. This should cover us from that. But very significantly, look at this time that we are at. We are at... Damn, it's still in range. We are at 7 minutes, just after 7 minutes. When we do a drop, very rarely will our opponent have much of anything. For comparison, let's say our opponent did some kind of early expand, and he opted to go for barracks play. There is no way physically possible to get stim this early. Stim will generally finish around 9 minutes. So suddenly, we have Hellbats against no stim Marines. So far, so good. What if we're up against someone who early expanded and did some factory starport tech? Well, geez, ForGG did get these refineries up as fast as possible. ForGG got the fastest possible factory and starport with an expansion. He did it really fast, and still, his total army is 2 Hellbats, 3 Marines, and a medevac. ForGG has very much so shown us with his own play that we're not going to be up against that much. And imagine for a moment if our opponent early expanded and went for Banshee. The Banshee would be not done yet, in fact. We'd be about 10 seconds from finishing. So we're going to get to his base. We have a medevac. I mean, maybe he'll have a Viking that can repel us, but we just run away again, and he's not really going to have much on the ground, and our Hellbat drop is going to force the Banshees back. I'm going to just keep going for a little bit longer, and most one-base plays we might be a little worried about, but we can respond to those too. In other words, anytime we're up against some guy who did some early expand play like this, right when our Hellbats and medevacs come up, he can't have all that much to defend at his main and his natural. What have we succeeded? We have said the what of the build, and we just got done with the why. Why does it work? Because it's just not that much defense. Hellbats do a ton of damage, and the medevac heals them, and the medevac's fast. There you go. You can kill off some workers with them. Dandy duty day. So people have started to center themselves around this Hellbat-based style. So first what we're going to do in this part 1 is we're going to show a simple form of a build that exploits a vulnerability. We're going to see LucifroN exploit the vulnerability of this, and then we're going to see an adjustment come out of ForGG. So let me come back to LucifroN's opening. Here it is. The super specifics of when the refinery goes down. Actually, I will do this. I will show you the specifics, you guys. Okay, so great. 12 barracks, 13 refinery, it looks like. So LucifroN is sending out an early scout. LucifroN, one of the best European players, arguably the best European Terran, narrowly didn't qualify for the World Finals. So LucifroN does this proxy factory, a little bit cheeky, as you might say. Oops, I forgot the ever-critical second gas timing. He just builds it right after the factory, but like right the hell after. As soon as he has money, he gets up that second one. So, okay, some Marines go down. We can already see why this is a smart play from LucifroN. He's preventing any scouting. And very often players will build a decent amount of Marines with most early expand openings. We sometimes see players go up to 4 to 7, I'd say. Not much beyond that. 7's even kind of stretching it. I'd probably say safely 4 to 6. But this is good. An SCV is going to come up and it'll get killed off. I think that he should plant 2 Marines here, 2 Marines here, and then just watch the minimap and kill off the dude in the middle. Putting it in the center is actually just bad. But either way, LucifroN, when the factory is done, instantly builds a starport, and then following that builds an armory. So then that way he can go Thor, medevac, all in one piece. Here we see the 6 Marines moving out. 7th one. The 7th one is actually fine. You heard me say 7 is stretching it, but these 6 were all that were seen. And yeah, just bringing some SCVs. He brings 9 SCVs, a really good number of SCVs to bring. And we can see that this timing lines up. It's not just that it is a Thor play. This is very much so a metagame style consideration. This is striking right when ForGG would begin to consider dropping. So suddenly, LucifroN's been saying, damn it, these hellbat drops are such a pain in the ass. I'm just going to dance around this entirely. I'm going to bring the noise to him. What if for some reason ForGG or LucifroN's wrong and he's up against a Banshee? Well, he has a Thor. He's probably going to come in here and do some significant damage. He can probably get that. If I were in this position and I saw a Banshee, I would just float this starport straight onto this tech lab and build a Raven. And then I'd build engineering bay here. And then basically be fine. Even against Marine type play, which is unlikely because pretty much everyone's going hellbat drop. But even against Marine play, this doesn't fare that badly. This is a nice, solid timing. So look at ForGG, who tried to micro with his valiant little hellbats. Cutie little hellbats. And of course, the biggest target on the entire map is this reactor. Doesn't quite manage to pick it off, but even with a nice surround, we're going to see ForGG just do some nice micro. And barely stay alive. Now, ForGG's in really bad shape. The fact that hellbats cannot shoot up is a huge issue. Viking needs to come out to be able to pick off these medevacs, but of course, we have a second Thor, a second medevac, and things are going really badly for ForGG, and I'm going to go ahead and times 8 it because it doesn't matter. We've already seen the success of the build, blah, blah, blah. This was a very early game in the series, and this no doubt made ForGG feel very, 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 very upset. And he went on tilt, and he got mad and angry and furious with rage. And then he said GG. So, a reasonable question is, how the hell do you deal with this? It's very easy to get overly... Alright, we good? Sound, no crackle? Let me know. It's very easy to get intimidated in these spots and to say, God, I gotta change everything entirely. I must completely abandon all hope. Switch builds. No, change is not the goal. First, it's improvement. Can I get my workers out faster? Can I get more hellbats out earlier? Can I do what I was doing before better? But then the second one is adjustment. And this is the one that most people who are like, you know, Diamond Masters and up are going to be doing. You just adjust. Now watch this. This is really awesome. Wait, was that the... This chair does not sound stable, does it? Like... Wait, are we getting a crackle? Does the mic sound good right now? I'm sorry, because there's this annoying thing. Oh, did it? Okay, good. Sweet. Sorry, let me just... Alright. Adjustment is really the things that the Diamond Masters, Grandmaster types will be doing. Adjust, 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 adjust. Let's watch ForGG do very similar build. LucifroN's actually going to do the same play as he did last game in this game. So we'll see again how this hellbat style, which looks strong, suddenly looked vulnerable. But we're going to make some adjustments to make it hang up in there. Okay, so ForGG, getting his early double gas. Getting a marine up, or 2, or even 3, I dare say. He's doing everything smartly so we can get his factory up. Getting his reactor up, as to be expected. The scouting done by ForGG is literally 0. Alright, ForGG churning out them Hellions. Yeah, so here's already a nice adjustment. We see ForGG has just gotten a single Hellion out to do a little bit of scouting, a little bit of map control. Just a single one. Still the same wall off at the front. Still the same timing on these Hellbats and this medevac. Same, same, same. Push coming up from LucifroN is going to be about... I don't know how much slower this is going to be. It won't be much slower. It might be like 5-10 seconds slower. Same building of the turrets, just in case of Banshees. Same, 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 same. Same early upgrade. Have I mentioned that it is, in fact, the same? So suddenly ForGG is in this position. Notice that it's coming, it looks like 15 seconds later. Medevac drop has just begun to move out. Ugh, gross. Well, first and foremost, ForGG reacts a lot faster. And this might sound like he's just like, oh, you just react better. That doesn't sound like any useful advice. It's coming when? 15 seconds later. So suddenly it's not just, I need to react better. It's at the 7-minute mark. I need to really start looking at the front. I might even have an SCV poach outside the front of my base at 7 minutes, do some loop-de-loops until 7:30 and go back in. So that way, I can begin this repair faster. Ordinarily, it's considered suicide to lower these, but of course ForGG knows that he's up against absolutely no Hellions, and that this is essentially the extent of the forces that he will be embattled with. And then he just counterattacks. Doesn't bring this back at all. So the SCVs begin picking everything off. It looks like it's going to be kind of a catastrophe here. But as equally bad is this drop that's going on back at home in LucifroN's base. And I have no idea if 2 Hellbats and a medevac beat a Thor. It wouldn't surprise me. But this is still quite a bad situation to be in as LucifroN. He only has, what, these 12 SCVs? Yeah, these 12 here. The rest are up at the front. So even though this economy is getting battered by ForGG, defenses versus all-ins do tend to look weird. Look at ForGG pulling back very sharply. Not trying to rush out too over-eagerly, more than willing to pull back, protecting this reactor a little bit more appropriately. And then he just kills off all the SCVs. So great. Simple counterattack to completely ruin LucifroN's economy. And then this attack, remember last game? ForGG actually did hold this attack off, but it was the follow-up with the second Thor and the rest of the things that killed him. Really, really nice, simple, clear adjustment. So I like this because it shows the difference between beating... I'm just going to start calling LucifroN the best Terran in Europe. I think that's fine. I don't think anyone will really challenge me on that. So the difference between losing to the best Terran in Europe and beating him quite handily, really, really, really slight adjustment that propagated out and did a whole bunch of damage. And I mean, functionally, it was very small, right? Just counterattack with that one dropship right when it comes and have a little bit more awareness right at the 7-minute mark. But it's these little teensy tiny, itsy bitsy, teeny weeny adjustments that help us do big effects. So when we come back, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about a more broad scale adjustment. Not just, here's my build and this is how I'm going to try to defend against this attack by shifting. It's going to be a little bit more meta. It's going to be a little bit more, I'm getting a read on what you're doing, so I'm going to halt doing my build and I'm going to deviate. I'm going to adjust in that fashion. So we'll look at bigger forms of adjustment when we come back. That's all I'm going to say. Bigger forms of adjustment. Doop-de-doop-de-doo. I love yoop-de-doop-de-doo. Also, let's look at this GIF together. Alright, I should probably play some music.